Hello everyone and welcome to another layout update. It's been a good 2 months since I've actually done anything, well, on the channel. There's been a few bits done to the layout. As you can see, all of the baseboards on the top layer are now in place. I don't think they was in place in the last update. So obviously track is now starting, as you can see, on the upper level. Now if we start over in this area here, this will be where the main station area is. Obviously I've got this temporary Hornby platform here, just kind of gauge out how wide I want the platforms and various things like that. Obviously I haven't got a lot of space to the left or the right, with the running loop being in there from the bottom layer. So I'm going to be going for a station building on top, over the top of the layout, maybe covering that back area in. But these passing loops are kind of, all fully set up, and just need to wire the points in, and then they'll be fully working. I've wired up all of the my dynamics controller, so there's power to all the track. I literally just need to get laying, get cracking on, and then hopefully we can start seeing some trains running. So now onto the part that you guys haven't seen yet. This is kind of just around from the station area. This is where this loop and where they run on from the gradient track, and how they run onto the main line. Obviously this will be mimicked over the other side. We still get to decide what we're doing over there, but we're going to sort of mimic it in a similar way. And then obviously the loop comes all the way around, joins onto the main line, and then I've installed some crossover points here, so the train can obviously cross over onto the correct track or back in, which it would be that way, wouldn't it? And then obviously we'll mimic that over the other side, so the other trains can get back in that way, and then we can have trains running up and down both ways. Now in this area here I've installed a crossover point, and rather than using another left-handed point, it was mainly because I didn't have any left-handed points left over. I always seem to use them quicker than the right-handed ones. But the reason why I've installed this is because basically in this area here, underneath all of this mess, there will eventually be like a yard area. Obviously I've got the fiddle yards down below, and I kind of messed up a little bit there and didn't really think about this, because obviously we've got 2 fiddle yards. But with sidings being up here, I don't really think we're going to be using one of them like as much as what I thought. So it's just literally going to be used to store stock underneath and stuff like that. Just for safety, I guess. You can never be too sure, can you? So obviously the road into the yard will start there. I wanted to start it as early as possible, just so I can get longer loops in for bigger freight trains and stuff like that. Obviously, the longer the freight train, the more realistic it is. I think we're going to look at about 8 to 10, for example, like coal hoppers or something like that, whatever. But in terms of the yard itself, now I've kind of got an idea of what I want to do. I want to base it around Who Junction. Now, if any of you guys are from the southeast, the whole layout will be based around the southeast. So there'll be southeastern units. There'll be like First Capital Connect, maybe the odd southern unit, which is kind of a bit of a problem because there's not many southeastern units available. So I will have to, either scratch build them myself or get someone to scratch build them. I know there is a guy who's based it around, I think it's Ashford and Sandwich Model Railway. He's got like a southeastern type based railway, and he's built scratch built an Electrostar, the class 375. So I'll be doing that, and I'll probably go and ask him for some tips and stuff like that. But yeah, so basically what I want to do is kind of mimic it into Who Junction. Obviously I haven't got the space to go for a full out Who Junction. But I think I'm going to have about 3 or 4 lanes here just on this side, and then on the other sides, at Who at the moment they've done a lot of work on the downsidings. If any of you guys have been there, you'll understand what I mean. But there was a lot of construction on the downsidings, and the upsidings have kind of always been there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have like the 2 main running tracks through the middle, and then have kind of a half-built yard over there. And so I'm going to have like 1 loop, and then another track just being laid, maybe with the concrete sleepers. And then I'm going to have like diggers and stuff like that, and all coal wagons there, and a loco sitting there. It just kind of opens up kind of a little nice idea. I haven't really seen a lot of people do it on layouts where the track's kind of been under construction. It's very tough to do when you've got a working model railway. You obviously don't want to have like construction scenes with just like passenger trains and stuff running through it and stuff like that. So I thought if I do it on a siding over to the sides, then it will add to like a little bit of an effect. And then over here I'll have like a canal scene kind of running through along next to the railway and then kind of just like fading out into the wall, and then I will carry it on over this side and then obviously blend it all round, because obviously I don't want to like mimic it like piece by piece, because obviously I haven't got the room for that, but I kind of want to get as close to it as I can, because you know I've always kind of gone over there and you know taken pictures and stuff like that, so it's kind of good to base it on the area that you're kind of familiar with. And then obviously I can then base my stock around it. I have like a lot of GBRF stock, Freightliner. I can run various freight trains like that, and then obviously I'll just add in the odd freight from around the southeast, like ones from Dollond's Moor or in like South London. So it kind of gives me a lot of options of what to run and various things like that. Now coming over to this part, I don't think this part will actually be here when we eventually get round to it. I think we're actually going to extend it out through this wall and then come back round back onto the layout. It may cause an issue over here because we're going to have to like kind of gradient this a little bit to get over the track going down. But in terms of, you know, over here, I kind of want to put I want a TMD area, obviously, because you know who doesn't want a TMD area on their layout. So I'll kind of incorporate that in. I know there's a bit in Who where basically the sidings kind of come up. This is like the main bulk of sidings, and then it crosses over onto the main line, and then there's like 2 or 3 sidings that run up this way. So maybe I could incorporate that into just becoming the main TMD area. But obviously I don't want to make it too overpowering in comparison to the trains running in the background. And things like that, but it's something to consider. It's just a little bit different, I guess. You know, it kind of adds a nice little feature to have all the engines sitting there, you know, running with their headlights or whatever, and all the detailing and stuff. It's always really good, and they're really common as well, so it's quite easy to get ideas, but obviously we'll see how it goes. Now in terms of new additions on the layout, I'm pretty sure you guys saw the DB Schenker shunter, the class 08. If not, I will put a picture of it on the screen now anyway. But obviously it's a shunter in DB Schenker livery from Bachmann. I got that about a month ago or so, and then my latest purchase was 66 416 in the Power Hall livery, and then a rake of these heavy haul Freightliner coal. I don't think they're not coal hoppers. I believe they're like stone hoppers, I think. I might be wrong, so I'm sure someone will correct me. But these are absolutely fantastic. I think I did touch on these in the last update, I'm sure I did. But I thought I'd actually get them out and give you guys like a proper look at them. I know they've been covered over YouTube like by so many people, so I won't go into too much detail. If you guys want me to do like a detailing and a review of them, then I will feel free to, but there's loads out there. But they're well weighted. They're very well detailed, and yeah, they're just overall Dapper have done a very good job on them, so I'd fully recommend them. And obviously they come in green or white, so you can kind of mix the rake up and it looks very, very good. But going back to this Class 66, obviously you guys know I am a big fan of the Class 66s, purely because of they're not the most exciting engines compared to like a 37 or something like that, but I just like the liveries. Obviously I've got the tube livery GBRF, I've got the children's livery, I've got, you know, like the Stobart Rail livery, the Colas livery, I've got the Barden aggregates, I've got so many. I've got a plain Freightliner one, I've got the Shanks Freightliner. I think I've got about 11 or 12 different liveried Class 66s, and obviously I want to keep adding to that, but I'm not going to get all of them. There's a DRS one out lately, and I'm not really a massive fan of that. I'm not really a fan of the livery, but I thought I'd get this one because it's like a good addition. I really like the Power Hall livery. I first saw it on a Freightliner Poland Class 66, and when they brought it to the UK I was kind of excited by it. It's a bit more exciting than the standard Freightliner livery, and it looks good on the Class 70s as well. But obviously with Batman Class 66s, you can't really go wrong with them. They run really smoothly. They've obviously got the good headlights and tail lights, and then the working cab light as well, and then the standard detailing. So they've done very well. It really does look the part, and it goes well with this rake of hoppers as well. So I was really happy with that. Just gives me something to run in front of it rather than just a standard Class 70. But obviously I can pick and choose whatever I want to run. Okay, so in terms of updates, that's kind of where we are. I will do a running session soon, purely of just like track testing. I set up like a tripod in different areas and just show me testing this engine across all the new points and various things like that. I'll have to clean the track up because it's a little bit dirty, whereas from my old layout. So give me a little time on that. But as always, if you guys did enjoy this, then feel free to leave a like, comment if you've got any suggestions about any scenery or things that I could do over the other side of the layout. Or even with the station area in terms of buildings. Obviously I'm going to have to scratch build a lot of things, so I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you guys soon with another video.